His name is Torier. He is my boss at the Hall of Records, and he just fired me today for doing my job.
Poor baby.
Don't I know it?
And you know anything about these? What about Anastas? You know something about her? Directly to you.
My boss wanted her dead. I don't know why. If I had to wager, I guess probably some bookkeeping thing that didn't add up, and she got a little too close.
Well, she was on the investigation of this whole slaving thing.
Really? Torier,
You seen any Earth Genasi around the Hall of Records lately?
I assume I haven't. Rick?
Were you weren't particularly looking for any in the gymnasium, so you
No.
can't say whether you could or not. There's all types of people in there. You would imagine there might have been, but you couldn't bring one to mind.
Yeah.
There was a
All
water
kinds of-
genasi with the bunch of hoodlums that came to your place earlier today.
All sorts of people come in and out of the Hall of Records. The only Genasi I've seen today is a water Genasi who weirdly
All sorts of
tried
people come in and
to
out of your
burn
house.
down my apartment in a sort of gesture. For Torier.
Where's this Torier character live?
I don't know where he lives. I can tell you he works at the Hall of Records. The same thing I said to the Water Genasi and the Cipher earlier. He's a very popular man as of late.
See, so it sounds like you have some beef with him, don't you?
Well, he did fire me today.
Well, with him, yeah,
After,
right.
after
Setting you up for
being
murder,
a
getting you
very
fired.
loyal and very dependable servant.
And then Riot makes it kind of jacking off motion.
Kelian shrugs. It's even. Would I expect Torier to still be there?
No, not this late.
If you want, we can go to his office. He's probably not there,
Sure.
though.
No, probably not. Not this time of night. You can take me there first thing tomorrow. How's that sound?
Sure, I got nowhere else to go.
Sounds good. Now, I'm a lady and I'm not going to sleep on the floor, so I'll take the mattress.
You can have it, it's burned.
Thank you very much.
There.
It's worth nothing. It can't be comfortable.
Feels like home to Nick.
So the next morning, the plan is for you two to go to the Hall of Records and
Yes.
try to shake down Torier.
Right.
What else? What's everybody else doing this evening?
I'm finishing up the stuff and waiting for the girl or whoever she wanted to pick it up tonight.
And I was running along with the Serenity.
Right.
Okay.
Where were we heading?
You were heading down to
The Slags.
the Slags. You go back to the house where you saw the two Earth Genasi going inside last night. You get there and the door's open. Opening inward into this tiny, barely even a shack.
You think it's a flop? Something else.
What's inside?
Go inside, or do you look inside?
Look inside first.
Look
Yeah.
inside, dark. You have a source of light? Some way to see?
I have a torch on my equipment.
I got a torch.
Okay, lighting a torch and stepping forward, looking inside. Empty place. No furniture. No nothing. Looks like squatters have been in here very recently. There's the remnants of a fire in the middle of the room. But other than that, empty and cold.
They probably moved on somewhere.
Not large enough to house any slaves. I'll dig around in the rubble a bit and see if they left anything.
Unless there's a gate here and they used a key.
Okay. Serenity, make an investigation check. And Elsie Clone, make a portal sense check. I'm gonna have to double check what kind of...
Yeah, I did take planar survival.
Not survival,
like that.
This would be portal sense.
Okay.
I just need to double check which one it is, which attribute.
It's a 10 on investigation.
Okay. Bear with me just a moment. I will control F this bizatch.
Probably wisdom, right? Guess it could be in.
My gut says wisdom, but I don't want to take anything for granted. I want to just double check.
I want to trust your gut. You would make a shit cipher.
Right. I should have already had this book open. I should have actually copied this stuff out of the book. But my planning skills are... You know how it is, right?
Yeah. Garbage.
Hey, I'm
Wow,
down to
harsh.
3 text files, though, if that helps.
Hooray!
Pick out.
Hey, Bricker, can we run Goblin Tower again with these characters?
We'll see.
Nick, do you have a Planescape Dash notes yet?
Right now, my Planescape Dash notes is the notes block on my character sheet.
Alright. Portal Sense is not in this book. Must be in the other book. I'm going to call it Wisdom for now. Go ahead and make that Wisdom
For now.
check.
Alright, Wisdom check is... One die. Work with me here. There it is. I did get a new mouse, by the way. Ooh, that's really nice. That's a 21.
21?
Yeah.
There's a portal nearby, but it's not the door you came in.
Okay. I'll relay that information to Serenity.
And Serenity, searching through, kicking through some of the rubble, you don't find anything of value.
Okay.
So they were just squatting here.
They both signed up in the gymnasium about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of them seems to be there training somewhat regularly. The other one, the one who drew the knife. The other one is not. That's all I've learned about them so far.
Cover story, maybe?
She'll shrug, like, eh. I think your type is not uncommon among the ciphers.
What do you mean, your type?
Fighters. People that just go out to a bar somewhere and decide it's a good idea to fight each other. I mean, I'm not complaining. I made 3 gold off of you.
That was a one-time thing and was a favor to a friend.
Your friend is lucky he didn't get gutted.
Yeah, that's why I told him not to do that shit again, but he's going to anyway because I know how he is.
Well, at any rate, I don't have any other leads. I may go back to the gymnasium and try and just maybe strong arm one of them.
I'll shrug and say, "All right, if you think that'll work."
So is that you going back there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stay there tonight, and they show up for the morning workout, so I'll just try and grab them after that.
Okay.
I'll meet you there in the morning.
Mahogany. So knock at your door, middle of the night, after you've been sleeping for a few hours.
Okay. I was expecting them earlier that night, so I'm a little annoyed, but I'll
She said
get up.
she was going to be back the next morning.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Okay, then in that case, then take that back. I'll go in and check to see what the hell is up.
Opening the door, you see a very large earth elemental standing there. A Dao. You see them from time to time in Sigil. They're not the most common sight, but they're not uncommon either, because a lot of traders come in through the inner planes. There are a lot of merchant princes among the Dao. This one is standing here, a very imposing looking figure. Should probably see if I can find a picture of a Dao, I guess. But he looks down and he asks, "Are you Mahogany?"
I'll say I am. What's so important? Couldn't wait till morning.
Holds out a sack of coins. Says, "I'm here to collect my bird cages."
Did she tell me to expect her, or that someone would pick them up?
She said that they would send someone to pick them up tomorrow morning.
I'm going to say, I didn't sell you any bird cages. I was told someone would be here in the morning.
So our timetable has been moved up. So I believe you spoke with our associate, Niane.
Could you describe her?
And he does. And
We'll say, alright.
He seems pretty annoyed at having to do so.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that it was the right person. I'll say, alright, well... I don't like being woken up in the middle of the night, but here they are.
Do you invite him in?
Yeah, I mean, he has to pick them up. I'm not carrying them out to him.
Okay. And he throws you the gold. There's 15 gold in there for each of the remaining 4 bird cages.
60.
He looks them over. Says, "Shoddy craftsmanship, but I suppose they'll do." He starts gathering them up, attaching them to a rope, and then tying it around his form, draping it up over one shoulder, and then down around his waist. So he's got the bird cages hanging off his front and back. Nods at you, thanks you for your time, and he's on his way.
Alright. I go back to bed.
Bear with me just one second. I'm having difficulty finding a picture of a Dao. I don't know why. I know exactly the picture I'm trying to find. It's not on the internet anywhere. There it is. I just found it. So everybody in the stream chat can know what a Dao looks like. There it is. Hooray! I found a Dao. Okay. Is anybody else doing anything late that night, or was that it?
Kelian thinks about murdering the tiefling there in her sleep, but decides against it.
Decides
Just
against
got your
it.
short sword.
Any particular reason why he decides against it?
Bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Enemy of my enemy.
So what is he thinking of doing to Torier? What is the plan for tomorrow morning?
Probably, if at all possible, get his job back. Knowing the dirt that he knows now. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Kelian and Riot are going to go shake down Torier. Serenity and Ciclon are going to shake down a guy in the gymnasium. That leaves Mahogany. What is Mahogany doing when he wakes up tomorrow morning?
I'm gonna go see Debly again. And not so much get his help as first find out whether he has an actual spellbook. And then see if I can look up that that symbol in it.
Okay.
That I drew. I'm just kind of curious.
You show up at the gymnasium tomorrow morning. And you find Debly's room.
Wait. Not the symbol I drew. I'm sorry, that wasn't the one that I had in mind. I wanted to go look for the spider.
Okay.
There's a symbol on the note, right?
Which note are you talking about?
The note that we got from the spider?
No, just the phrase, a gift from your Aunt Nancy. The other page was a drawing, detailed drawings of those 8 objects, one of which was your trinket. With
I thought there was like one of the other ones was a picture of a spider.
I mean, you saw the little image of the spider that's on your worm on each of these 8 objects.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll look up then. That spider. I knew it was a symbol.
And Debley is very intrigued. First of all, he assures you it is a real spellbook, and he's almost to the point where he can cast spells out of it. Just with a little more practice, he'll be good enough. But he's very intrigued by the spider mark, and he asks you what it means.
I say, Debley, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to figure it out. The only wizard I know.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. So I've got a spell that can detect magic. I forget what it's called, but I think I can cast it. And he makes a big show of casting a spell. And then he makes some humming noises with his weird lizard lips. And he holds his hands out open palm and starts wiggling his fingers about. And then his eyes pop
while
open.
he's doing this... While he's doing this, I go, okay, you get back to me about that. And I leave.
Okay.
I've gotten things thrown at me once already from Debley. I don't need to do that twice.
Ciclon, you show up the next morning.
Yeah, I will be
gymnasium.
I will be dressed up. I will be in lucha costume for that.
Okay. And you meet with Serenity, and what is your guys' plan for this morning?
I'm gonna catch, what's the guy's name?
Lutu?
Yeah, I'm gonna catch Lutu as he leaves the, training in the morning. Actually, I'll do the training.
Okay. But yeah, the training finishes up. Do you vouch for Ciclon?
Is he interested in
No, he's
to
just
get him
gonna,
in, or?
No, he's just going to stand off to the side and observe. He's not going to...
In that case, Fravad stops for a moment and invites you over. Says, have you come to train your mind and body?
He shrugs and then nods.
Then, yeah, he invites you to join. He assures you that faction membership is not a requirement. Only an interest in becoming attuned to one's inner perfection.
Ciclon will nod and nod somewhat approvingly, but the entire time his attention is fixated on Lutu.
And the entire time Lutu's attention is fixated on you. And in fact, just a few moments after you join and begin doing motions, Lutu stops and starts to move towards the entrance.
I'll get Serenity's attention and nod toward Lutu.
Oh, Serenity saw this. Everybody saw it. So everybody can go ahead and roll some initiative. Mahogany, why don't you get on this too?
I'm gonna... Oh, shit, I wasn't. Never mind. Alright.
And the
Oh, that's right. I got an initiative bonus the other day that I forgot about.
The character sheet doesn't show the cipher initiative bonus.
No, you'll just have to remember that.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Ciclon, what do you want?
I'm on 14.
And what's Mahogany on?
20.
And what's Serenity on?
Serenity acts at 21.
Oh.
It's only 20 sides.
We're proud of our
die.
ciphers.
Alright, so, Serenity, you've got initiative. Right, all that's happened so far is Lutu has broken away. You've seen him lock eyes with Ciclon for a moment, and is trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
I'll just double move to block the exit.
As you
That's possible.
Circle on and get in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Mahogany, as Debley is back there casting his quote-unquote spell, you leave the room, and as you do, you see the spectacle. You see the Earth Genasi making his way towards the door, the female Earth Genasi circle on to block him, and you see the weird masked luchador in the martial arts group who's watching them both.
All right. Well, I see Serenity going to block the door, so I'm going to join in. How far away am I?
Probably too far to double move over there this turn, but if you move in that direction, Lutu will definitely see you moving. He'll see you joining Serenity. So it'll take you this full turn to move over there. The next turn you'll be able to move and take an action. How does that sound?
All right. Well, I'm actually going to use my action to cast Longstrider on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move over there. And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Shillelagh.
This is one of those wacky druid spells. So Longstrider increases your speed by 10. And then Shillelagh turns your thing into a better thing. Now, the Water Club of a Quarterstaff is imbued with nature's power. Gotcha. So
basically, you know how that guy was saying that you should improve your body to improve your mind?
Right.
I improve my mind to improve my body.
There you go. Can we all agree, like right now, all of us, can we just agree that the best part of Shillelagh is the word Shillelagh?
Yeah.
Saying the name of the spell? Right. Okay.
No, clearly.
No.
Absolutely.
No, we can't agree.
Well, the second best thing is that 2 of the components in that spell are my quarterstaff.
So, Serenity, you see off in the far end of the gymnasium, which I'm pretty sure is a huge room. I'd have to double check the map, but it's supposed to be a huge open space with like a pool in the center of it. You see Mahogany, who you've had several amiable dealings with in the past, is coming your direction, moving very swiftly and holding his staff. And what does Ciclon do?
Ciclon closes to kind of pincer to pincer Lutu between himself and Serenity.
Okay. Do you make a move to grab him or to attack him in any way?
Not yet.
Okay. Ciclone.
Yeah.
5 points of slashing damage. Ow. When Lutu sees he's being boxed in, he spins around, blinding fast, drawing his knife out and lunging forward, slashing you across one of the arms. And he starts glancing around nervously at the rest of the gymnasium as now other people are starting to notice the spectacle. The ciphers are all about fighting, but they do not, of course, take kindly on this kind of violence in the gymnasium. So at this point, other people are moving in from various directions. It's to Serenity.
What are the rules for attacking unarmed? I don't have my PHB, sorry, it's in a box.
It's a regular attack roll. You're always proficient in unarmed attacks. You always add your proficiency bonus. But it doesn't... I think it only deals 1 damage if you're not a monk. You don't get any kind of damage bonus to it. If you're going to do an unarmed attack, you might be better off trying to grapple.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just grab him then.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll it to hit. You can add your proficiency to that.
Strength as well, or...?
Yeah, strength. You gotta beat a 5.
That's,
that beats a 5. 20 is bigger than 5. I'm not sure if you knew that. So how do you grab him?
She just overpowers him. I mean, I don't know how big this guy is, but Serenity is fairly tall and bulky, so I think she can just kind of bear down on him, grab him by the shoulders, and push him to the ground.
Okay, so you push his arms together, kind of pin his arms so he can't move. He can still attack you with a knife. What you've done is reduce his speed to 0. What you can do on your next turn as an action is move him where you want, which means you can push him to the ground prone.
Okay.
So right now you're grabbing him and you two are struggling, but you're easily overpowering him. Mahogany, that's what you see as you're closing the distance with your Longstrider.
Does he look like he's going to knife Serenity?
He absolutely looks like he's going to knife Serenity.
Alright, I'm going to walk over there and smack him in the face.
With your hand or with your stick?
My stick.
Okay, roll to hit.
Your shillelagh.
Oh, it's a quarterstaff. That's 6 plus... I've actually got a different stat for Shillelagh. 6 plus 5, so that's 11.
11. Yeah, that hits. Roll the damage, and it becomes... Is it a plus D8, or it becomes a D8?
It is a D8.
Okay.
But it uses my wisdom instead of my strength.
Ah, gotcha. There you go.
That's 5 damage.
5. You clock him with the butt of your quarterstaff, and you see a lot of the fight drain out of him. And he opens his hand and drops the knife, and it clatters to the ground. Ciclon.
I'll step over, kick the knife away from his hand.
Okay.
And that's it.
And Lutu starts saying, he says, "Alright, you've got me. What is it you want with me? Why are you following me?"
How are the rest of the people in the gymnasium reacting to this?
You see Ronoth has seen and heard the spectacle, and he's watching with his kind of disinterested demeanor.
Okay.
Most of the other ciphers are standing around. They see that you've all got it well in hand. It was very unmistakable that he brandished the weapon first. So a lot of people are just watching to see how you handle the situation.
I'll let him go, since the knife is out of his hand.
Okay.
Still barring his path physically. And I'll say, do you know anything about any slaver rings here in Sigil?
And he reaches up, as soon as his arms are free, he reaches up and holds his temple, where Mahogany just clocked him one. And he exhales in kind of an Eric / Kelian kind of way.
I'm gonna take the knife.
I love it.
Okay, so Mahogany walks over, picks the knife up off the ground. He says, "If I talk about that," and he says this in Terran, so as nobody else around can overhear. So the rest of you just hear this very gravelly sound coming out of his throat. Mahogany, you have a very distant grasp on what he's saying, but it's difficult to make out. It's like
Is this another roll?
It's like two different
Like you speak
dialects of
primordial?
Chinese. Yeah, you can make a roll. I'll let you roll a wisdom check to glean what he's saying. 'Cause he's not speaking primordial; he's speaking Terran.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got Terran.
No, this was an opposite roll. You were supposed to go low, so you actually failed it.
Ah, damn. I wish you had told me beforehand.
So, he says, if he talks to you about that, he will surely be killed. And that all he has to fear from you is heat from the hardheads. And he can handle that. So Serenity and Mahogany both understood that.
Who
What about
talks?
your brother?
That's Lutu just talked. You said, what about his brother?
Yeah.
He looks at the ground. He averts his eyes from yours. Says he probably deserves to be dead.
I'm gonna look at him and I say, "You seem like a fucked up." He's probably gonna think you talked anyway.
In what language?
Oh, my best Terran.
You lack the vocal cords for best Terran. If you speak it in primordial, he'll understand you, though.
Yeah, primordial then.
Okay. And so a few of the ciphers standing around. Very few of them, I would say. Definitely not. Does Ciclon speak primordial? I don't think so.
Nope.
What do you speak? Common and Gith?
Common and Gith.
Primordial's kind of like Gith, only totally different and not at all similar.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And I'm sorry, you said what in primordial?
I'm gonna say you seem like a fuck up. He's probably gonna think you talked anyway.
And
But
at
they're
this,
probably going to think.
some of the other ciphers standing around are taking notice. And he sees that the conversation's no longer private. So he says in common, he says, "Fine, I surrender myself to your custody then." And when he says your, he indicates to the three of you. Serenity, Mahogany, and Ciclon. He says, but I'll recognize no other authority in this place. Then very loudly he says, I certainly don't recognize your damned faction.
So just kind of... What was the instructor's name?
That was... Fravad.
Fravad.
Serenity just kind of give an eyebrow raise over in Fravad with sort of bemused smirk.
Fravad is watching disappointedly. This is what became of Lutu, who has been training in his class and doing well with his riddles for the week or so that he's been here. So what do you do with the prisoner?
Right. Let's bring him to my room. Unless, what was your name? I'm looking at Mahogany.
I think we've talked.
Have our characters met? I think
yeah.
you know me, but okay.
Yeah, you two have, because you're both members of the same faction. You have a lot of the same interests. You come from the same part of the Great Wheel.
Okay. Unless Mahogany, unless you have a better idea, we can bring him back to my room to talk to him in private.
That seems like the best idea for now.
That's...
Do it.
I'm coming too.
Okay.
Who are you again?
El Ciclon.
Okay. I'll look over at my fellow Cypher here.
He's a pit fighter I met in the hive the other day when I met these guys.
And at the words of pit fighter and hive, Mahogany will nod. Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I'll rub my forehead for a minute and then follow along with them.
Alright, so we'll bring him to my room, assuming that the rest of the ciphers have no problem with it. It sounds like they don't.
They might, depending on what you're doing. Nobody moves to bar your path.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much, like, there's not really an official way to handle this kind of situation, especially not in the gymnasium. What they would be more concerned with is, are you going to bring down any heat from the authorities?
No.
Okay. Like,
this is an internal Cypher problem, right?
If you start beating this dude senseless, there might be a problem.
Right. No, there shouldn't be any need for that.
Meanwhile, that morning at the Hall of Records, Kelian and Riot, you wake up tomorrow morning, and you have a very nice breakfast and a lovely conversation, I'm sure. Riot, do you allow Kelian to take his arms?
Not here.
Okay.
I'll give him back to him once we're in the road.
Once you're out on the road, okay.
All right.
But not when it's just the two of us in his cabin.
Okay. So you go to the Hall of Records.
All right.
And you
the Hall of Records.
And this is... as far as faction headquarters go, the Hall of Records is semi-open, because all of the records are public, for the most part. Kelian, of course, is still a member of the faction. He doesn't have the run of the place, but he's a familiar face. He's allowed in, and as long as he vouches for Riot, who totally does not look like she belongs there at all, there should be no problems.
She's with me.
Okay.
Don't really have much choice in the matter, but she's with me. Yeah, I'll take Riot to Torier's office.
So one of the factotums, really low-level guys, probably higher than you were before you got fired, but when you mentioned that you want to go see Torier, he says, "Oh, he's in a meeting right now. Can this wait?"
No, can't wait.
And he looks back and forth between you and Riot. He says, "Is there something in particular this is regarding?"
Riot is going to smile at the guy and say, "Harmonium business," and wink.
And he looks confused, because you're very clearly not a member of the Harmonium. What do you mean, Harmonium business?
It's concerning records. What else would it concern? Come on, let's go.
Roll a persuasion check, Kelian.
Oh, I was hoping you'd ask me to roll one.
You're not a member of the faction.
Yeah.
He's not gonna listen to you anyway.
Technically, Kelian isn't either.
No, Kelian's still a member of the faction. just
23.
Yeah, Torier does not have the authority to kick Kelian out of the faction.
Oh.
He looks really confused, but he nods and he brings you upstairs to Torier's office. And opening the door, Torier, of course, looks furious as always. He is, in fact, in a meeting with the other Earth Genasi, with Granite. And as soon as the door opens, the two of them stop. Torier stands up angrily, looks at Kelian and Riot in the doorway. So what is the meaning of this?
Did the low-level whatever come with us?
The factotum? Yeah, he's with you.
Okay. I try to usher him away. I was like, thank you. Thank you, you're done.
And
You've
he
done enough.
sees something terrible is about to go down, and he makes himself scarce.
And I'll look at the Earth Genasi and say, "You can go."
You say, you can go?
Yeah.
Stands up, looks back at Torier, and back at the two of you. So we done here? Torier looks angry as always. And he's looking back and forth between the Genasi and Kelian. He says, sit back down. He says, Kelian, is this really how you want to go about this? Has your humiliation not endured long enough?
I close the door behind us and I say, "Oh, Torier, what have you gotten yourself into?"
He looks at you kind of cockeyed, like he doesn't know what you mean.
And I'll pipe up and I'll say, Tori, if this guy already knows everything, he can stay. But if not, I suggest you dismiss him.
I'm sorry, Kelian. I don't believe I've been introduced to your charming friend. And he looks at you to make the introduction.
In fact, neither have I, actually. Make a riot.
I'll say, oh, who, me? Name's Ula.
Name's what?
His name is Ula.
It's an interesting name. He's rummaging around through a stack of papers. How is Riot dressed right now?
She's in her street clothes.
Okay. And he pulls one of the handbills out.
Mm-hmm.
Puts it on the table. If I didn't know any better, I would say you're one of these poets of debauchery? I'm sorry, distortion. My mistake.
And Riot looks at the handbill a little bit and says, "Looks like a human."
Well, Ula, I'm sure you're a fine, upstanding citizen. And if you want to keep your nose clean and bring none of this trouble upon yourself, I suggest you leave now, because it's about to get very dirty.
Nod said, "Sure is. I'm about to tell you everything that you've done wrong."
And then he returns his gaze to Kelian. Says, This is your plan? To hire a street thug? Bring her into my office? You think I could be intimidated?
She's the one with all the power in this situation. Don't look at me.
He shakes his head and says, truly, Kelian, I thought better of you.
I flash a Cheshire grin.
Very well. Enlighten me. What have I done wrong?
In league with these Earth Genasi, for one thing. Slavery is what I hear.
At that, the Earth Genasi balks. It's a ignorant attitude. Racist, I would say. And that from a Tiefling.
And I, repeating back what they told me at the Harmonium.
And you have evidence that I have committed this crime? This is Torier.
Mm-hmm. And I say, yeah, he's my evidence. I nod back to her, to make you for the murder of, Anestas the Truth.
Anestas the Truthful. Where have I heard that name before? Anestas. Kelian, does that sound familiar to you?
I remember it quite well. It was in a conversation that we had.
Oh, my phone's ringing. I gotta take
This is
I'll
our
be right back, guys.
stealthing out of there really fast.
I think you got seen during this conversation, dude.
Yeah. And suddenly you're running around the desk trying to beat each other up. And the
They're fist fighting on top of the desk.
Yes.
All right, shortest phone conversation ever. I'm back. So, Kelian, does that name sound familiar to you?
Yeah, as I recall, you were in a conversation with me, something about wanting her dead? I don't know why you'd come to me for such a thing, though. I don't know anyone who could do such a thing. I had no idea.
At that, Torier looks back at the Genasi. And he says something in Primordial. Do either of you speak that? You speak
Nope.
Abyssal.
Mm-hmm.
Kelian speaks Celestial.
You're good friends.
We'll have to figure out what kind of Celestial you speak, I think. We'll go over some options later. But he's definitely not speaking Celestial. And at that, the Genasi laughs. Says, yeah, I did it, like we discussed. And Torier looks back at the two of you and says, I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Right at this point, I'm gonna step behind Kelian and cast Detect Thoughts again.
Okay. And who are you targeting?
Turian.
Torier? His surface thoughts, smugness. He's got Kelian exactly where he wants him. Right now, he's thinking about how sweet it's going to be to drive the dagger home. And Torier looks back at Kelian, shrugs. Well, will there be anything else? Are we done now? Your replacement's working out beautifully, by the way.
I sure would hate it that when if the hardheads come by, they find some piece of incriminating evidence that would be in your office. That would just be terrible. Because that would prove everything that was said here would be true.
Torier nods and says, I agree. That would be truly awful. Are you continuing to press in?
Yes.
Alright, let me make a wisdom save. Okay, what direction are you pressing into his head?
Okay, let me look at the spell again. Let's see. Probe deeper. Insight. I'm gonna press into its dealings with this Genasi.
It's dealing with the Genasi?
Yeah.
He and the Genasi have been working behind the scenes the past 3 nights to... This Genasi in particular hasn't gone and done it, but he's got underlings, other people in his organization. The idea is to get a hold of Anestas the Truthful, some of her personal effects, plant them in Kelian's house. And from how they're acting, this has already been done.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So they're trying to frame him for the murder that he actually committed. That's pretty amazeballs. I like it. I like it.
And Torier, by detecting thoughts, because he failed to save, he doesn't know you're in there. He doesn't know you're rooting around.
Okay. Actually, it says either way, the target knows you're probing into its mind.
Did it? I misread that then.
Yeah, that's why I never used it that much when I didn't want someone to know.
That's why I'm standing behind Kelian.
Ah. Well, then, yeah, he does know that you're poking around. And he narrows his eyes. But he doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I flash another Cheshire grin.
I'm applying the sheriff's star on it.
Torier calls out for one of the aides. One of the clerks. When he comes in, says, "Do us a favor, please, and summon the nearest Harmonium Patrol. I believe there's a matter they can help us sort out." He opens one of the drawers after the clerk leaves. And he pulls out a brass key. Literally a key. He says, "Kelian, it's not personal. You know it's not personal." He sets it on the table. Slides it across. And mentions the name of a place that I forgot to look up.
Do I get another round of detectives while all this stuff with the clerk is happening?
That's cool.
Okay. I'm going to press into anything he knows about slavery.
He doesn't know much about it. He's not one of the slavers, but he's involved in as much as smoothing the gears to get the operation into Sigil. When you push in that direction, usually merchants coming in from the inner planes have tariffs to pay on their goods. They have to declare what they're bringing in as long as they're bringing it in legally. Mm-hmm. What he's doing is he's classifying the goods as something else, coming in and out.
Okay.
So he's just facilitating it and making a lot of money, but he's not actively involved in the slaving. He mentions, tells Kelian, he slides the brass key across, and says, "Go to the Dirk and Firkin." He says, "It's an ale house in the lower ward. Don't stop for a drink. Take this key. Take your thug with you. Walk into the privy, and you'll be safe from what happens next. My gift to you. Or you wait for the hardheads to show up, and it gets very ugly indeed." And he looks up at Riot now. He says, "Dig all you want." He says, "They're not going to believe you. Even if they do, I've paid them off."
Kelian nods approvingly.
And does what?
He'll take the key.
Okay.
He'll grab Ula's arm and say, "We should probably get going."
What's Ula's response?
Ula's phone says, "I think that would be a great idea. You've got somewhere to get to very quickly."
And we hightail it out of there.
All right. And where are you headed?
Once we're out of the Hall Records, I'm going to tell Kelian that he'd better get home quick and find that evidence for the Harmonium does.
Kelian nods again. Right.
And I'll tell him I've got to go right now, but if you want to talk later, catch my show on the ladies' board. We're playing tonight.
I have a feeling it'll be sooner rather than later. And I book it home.
Book it home. Okay, last dice roll of the night. Kelian.
Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
Oh, someone's got to count. I'm not trained in it. Don't be the one roll that I really botch. Don't be the one roll I really botch. 20!
Not bad.
Alright.
Searching through your house, you find a loose floorboard. And you have like a little kitchen area off to the side. Under the loose floorboard is a box, and pulling it out, you see it's been loosened and placed there very recently. Opening it, you look inside and you see two women's hands cut off at the wrists sitting in the box.
didn't do that.
And that's where we're ending the session. With Kelian opening his horrible box.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
So,
Well, we already know what's in the box. It's 2 horrible hands.
It's hands. To explain to the viewers, we went over experience before the stream started, but we're actually tracking experience for this campaign, and we have a method for giving out experience points for role playing and stuff. We haven't actually done any real encounters or anything yet, but at the end of every session in this campaign, we're going to give out bonus experience to 3 players, and the players get to decide who gets it. So first, you guys have to decide which of you had the most creative use of powers, spells, or class features.
I would have to say Nodal's freezing the
Yeah,
freezing
I was
the
gonna say
ground
that.
over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
Icing
good,
the ground. So
Yeah.
we're giving Mahogany. I'm calling these blips because I know you guys love stupid words like that in my chat.
I think you mean
Blips.
pips.
No, pips is something
Pips
else.
of experience.
No, they're blips. They were going to
they're
be bips,
blips.
but I can't call them bips because bips are something else.
They're bips.
Right now in chat, someone's saying blips
Belief
for the
points.
blips god. So the next blip is going to go for heroism. Which of our players demonstrated heroism in this session?
I would say Serenity for tackling the Genasi. Would be my vote.
I'm gonna say our thief for heroically taking that sheriff's badge into the harmonium.
No, that's just that's just cojones. That's not.
That's cojones.
Is that one of the? Can I give a blip for cojones?
There's not a
That's another
cojones blip yet. So do we have any other nominations for heroism, or does Serenity get the heroism?
I'm cool with Serenity.
Okay.
Yeah, Serenity's fine.
And our last blip is for badassery. Who gets the blip for badassery this week?
Oh, Nick. For
Yeah.
everything involving anything.
Yeah.
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 Just anything involving anything? Like, just in general, everything Nick did this week was just badass?
Listen, that was badass.
That whole last scene was pretty badass, where
Yeah, it was.
2 psychotic murderers are confronting each other, and she's just like, "What up?
I like that she
I'm not
broke
afraid
into
to
his
probe your mind.
house.
Fuck you."
She did break into his house.
I mean, I know it's a popular destination for break-ins these days.
Apparently, it's break-ins and destruction.
Yeah, I'm not that impressed by the break-in. I mean, there was a window broken open.
Okay.
But everything else, man.
So let's go ahead and mark down some experience for this week. Riot, mark down 30. Ciclon, mark down 15.
Okay.
15 for Kelian. 30 for Serenity. And 45 for Mahogany. I gave Riot and Mahogany a blip each because they both... their flaw caught them up at some point in the session that I noted. The other blips are for alignment, flaw, or faction belief. Solving problems that arise from those 3 things during the session. So let's talk about belief points now. Belief points we're going to give away at the end of the session as well. You can cash in 2 belief points to make a roll at advantage, just like an inspiration point in regular 5e. You can cash in 4 to recharge a used power or ability, provided that you use it in support of your belief. And you can cash in 6, which is the maximum you can have, to do a banana level campaign change, which also accompanies a change in your belief. That's showing your belief is evolving and the multiverse is changing in accordance with it.
So 2 is reroll, or 2 is gain advantage.
Yep.
And 4 is rechargeability, and 6 is banana.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
There are 3 belief points up for grabs each session. Riot. Did Riot act in accordance with her beliefs?
Mhm.
What is Riot's belief right now? The oppression of the majority must be
Oppression of
uprooted.
the majority must be uprooted and destroyed.
And destroyed at every opportunity. So, did she act in accordance with that belief?
I'm gonna say neutral on that. Yes, not no, because she's working toward taking down the slavery ring, but she didn't really do that much toward it this session.
Did Riot learn something new about her beliefs?
No.
Are Riot's beliefs changing?
No.
Okay. Kelian.
Not yet.
Kelian's belief is the best outcome is what has the best material components. Does that mean wealth?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Kelian act in accordance with his belief?
He tried.
He tried.
He
Did
tried.
he learn something new about his beliefs?
No.
Are Kelian's beliefs changing?
No.
No?
Too early yet.
Too early?
No.
I would be very suspicious if anybody's beliefs were changing at the end of the first session, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ciclon,
Yeah.
I've got your belief as it is a luchador's duty to be a hero to others through action. Did Ciclon act in accordance with this belief?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Nick. Is yeah, a little bit of yes, a little bit of no. I don't really think that. I mean, working to knock out the slavery ring is a noble effort, but at the same time, it's it's bringing up some old skeletons that he doesn't want to deal with.
Okay. Did he learn something new about his beliefs?
No,
Are Ciclon's beliefs changing?
absolutely not.
Nope. He's sticking by it.
Yep.
I've got Serenity as by my actions, I will make the universe a better place.
Yeah.
Did Serenity act in accordance with that belief?
I mean, it's the same, yes, but she hasn't really made much progress on those actions yet.
Okay. Did she learn something new about her beliefs?
Not specifically.
And are they changing?
I don't think so.
And I've got Mahogany as there's one perfect state of being for everything. And did Mahogany act in accordance with that belief?
He tried. I think the closest I came was with making that fucking god carpentry. I made a really nice bird cage.
And a
You made a bunch of
shitty
really
bird
crappy
cage.
ones.
Yeah, but
Did Mahogany learn something new about his beliefs?
I learned that some people's or things' perfect state of being isn't great.
So, what led him to make that conclusion? What drove him to that conclusion?
Debly is fuck up.
And are Mahogany's beliefs changing?
No.
No?
As far as I can tell, Debly seems perfectly happy being a fuck up. So, it's not for me to decide that he's wrong in doing so.
Alright, I'm going to give a belief point to Riot, Kelian, and Mahogany this session. You can't do anything with one belief point.
Okay.
You can look at it. It's pretty. Let me go ahead and open up the chat here. That was our first Planescape session. Pure roleplay. No, very little.
I remember you said
real combat.
you said at the start that there's not going to be any combat this set.
You should know better.
And then
you
everyone
really need
got
to
in
know
trouble with
better.
Harmonium.
I was expecting
Ciclon had it.
the pit fight. I was expecting that, and then the play fight in the bazaar with Happy. But I mean, that wasn't any real combat. It was just kind of a couple of initiative clashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long until Kelian dies? It's a good question.
I
thought-
told Nick halfway
Level
through the
1.
session that that Kelian was going to kill Nick's character and then get arrested. And that was going to be the end of the session.
Now, so
No, we
was the
talked
actual...
at the beginning. We talked at the beginning, you know, if there's ever a conflict between player characters and what you're role-playing, go with the safety of the characters.
We are aiming to get the group like together as a cohesive adventuring unit by the end of session number 2. That's the goal.
I kept trying.
Good progress.
I kept trying, and I just kept making those fucking bird cages.
It's gonna be great is we're gonna get stuck inside those bird cages somehow. It's gonna be great. Like that is the
They're going to be the
gun.
most important item of the campaign.
What's? I'm starting to have a very low opinion of what's his name too, Ronath, because he never told what's her name anything.
What's her name?
I can't remember. What's your name? Character's name, Destil.
Serenity.
He never told Serenity shit. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell Serenity you're looking for her."
Yeah, no, Ronath sucks. Apparently he just knows everything and doesn't say
The thing you
anything.
have to understand about Ronath is the Realmani are obsessed with maintaining the balance in the multiverse. So relying on them to do anything useful is dicey at best.
You're saying he's damn lucky he got a job with the Ciphers because they don't give a shit and aren't going to look over the stuff he's doing.
There's a link to an image of the Realmani